This is the Big O Show. 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 This
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Caneswear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There's just one place to celebrate our happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Plus last chance savings on a 2024 RGX. $379 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, welcome aboard. Yes, sir. Time to rock and roll from Los Angeles. We're at some Hyatt somewhere. We're awaiting Sean. He'll get here tomorrow. I had a good time last night. I posted the videos on X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call that thing. Saw Patty Smythe last night. It was terrific, man. Really, really cool. She sounded fantastic. John McEnroe was there yesterday. That's her husband of 25 years. And he came on stage and jammed 2 songs and everything because he plays the guitar. So he came on stage and I think it was Goodbye to You was one of them. And then he did another song. I forgot the other song. Yeah, he came on stage. He was there. Their 3 daughters were there. So it was cool. It was cool. They live in California because she said, even in the concert, she says, I drove to work today. I never really get to drive to work because, you're usually touring and you're going city to city when you're a rocker. So apparently the family was able to drive to Agora Hills. She's going to be somewhere else tonight, but I'll be at, I don't even know the name of the place I'm going to, but I'm going to go see the tonight. So I'm going to go see Matt Johnson tonight. Part of my rock and rollin' weekend before the Dolphins and the Rams on Monday. We've got the tonight, and then Saturday we're going to see Dirty Honey at the Troubadour, and then Sunday we'll see Dirty Honey at the Whiskey A Go-Go. That's one of my favorite young bands out there. I love Dirty Honey. So I'm looking forward to a little Dirty Honey. I like it. There we go. Biffy Clyro announcing something on tour. I wonder if they're coming here. Usually it's Europe. They rarely come here. But anyway, so I had a really good night last night. No thanks to American Airlines, who was a pain in the ass. Man, what a mission. I had like a 3-hour delay in Miami yesterday to get out, which screwed me the entire day because the second I landed, I had to rush to everything, rush to get my food. I had not eaten. I think I went 20 hours yesterday between meals. So it wasn't as impressive as the 25 and a half hours I did a few days back, but I did 20 hours yesterday. And after 20 hours, I got my in and out when I landed. And then I got my
Randy's Donuts right here. I got 2 glazed donuts. I ate half of one. Then I ate the other half last night. And then I had another half this morning. I'll probably have the other half later on this evening. I mean, it's completely changed my eating habits. Normally, I would have eaten 2 of those donuts and then had 2 more later on in the evening. That's how I used to do it. But if you want to lose weight, you gotta cut out the dirty stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can't eat too much. I had breakfast today, so I'm not fasting for today. Today would be one of those. I had a little Chick-fil-A action. So, hey man, I'm over 40 pounds lost. I can cheat a little bit here and treat myself. But yeah, last night was really cool experience. Watching Patty Smythe, and obviously she did some of her solo stuff that she's been doing over the last few years, and then plenty of scandal stuff. Also, she did like Ode to Billy Joel. She did a couple of songs that kind of remakes, things like that. But she sounded fantastic, man. She did Downtown Train, which she does from Rod Stewart. Excellent, and her voice is still powerful as hell. So looking forward to the rest of this weekend and enjoying it. Waking up a little extra early here. Gotta tell you, bro. That's why I told Sean 11 o'clock, and then I delayed it a little bit more because my Chick-fil-A was taking a little bit to get here. So it's finally here. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little Dolphins. David Furones is ready to go. Let's get into a little football talk with our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
Man, I'm watching here. Ethereum could make it to 3,000 today. Solana crossed the 200 mark. Will Bitcoin get to 77,000 today? Damn, dude, this is good. This is good. David, how are you doing, my brother? You doing good?
I'm doing well, yeah. Friday here at the facility, which is like a Thursday because of the Monday night game. So we heard from some coordinators, and I can't wait to get to where you're at. Get out to LA. I only go on Sunday, just the day before the game, but I still have plenty of time. I have all of Sunday, a lot of Monday before the night game. Although it's like a 5:15 kickoff over there, so not too much. But I've also been noticing what you were just talking about. The economy is pretty robust right now, but. I don't have Bitcoin, but I mean, just like all this other stuff that I have going, it's I made a nice little run off of the election, which I knew would go.
Well, this is nothing. This is just the start of it, actually. So this is just it's scratching the surface. Bitcoin will cross 100,000 before the end of the year. The bull run's on now, and then there have been trillions sitting on the sidelines all across the world waiting. And since money is dying everywhere, the U.S. dollar, the German mark, the ruble, the pound, the yen, they're all being overprinted. People have to get their money instead of sitting in a bank and it's dying and it's buying less every day. They got to put it into a commodity that is going to go up, like Bitcoin or silver or gold or real estate or something like that. So that's what you're watching. You're watching that injection because they also know what's coming. What's coming is they're going to print a lot of money. And when they print more money, they devalue the currency. And so that's what's really going on. It's kind of a catch-22. What you're watching is the rich have the money that they're inducing into the economy and putting it and getting it going, but it's really not the middle class or the lower class that is actually enjoying the fruits of all this kind of stuff. So that's the kind of twisted part about it. Yes, it is for people that are investing, but the problem is most people cannot invest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're not really enjoying this, and it's only going to get worse, to be quite honest. Instead of me, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the haves and the have-nots, it's just going to get wider and wider and wider, and that's what both of these parties do to people. It's kind of what I've been explaining for several years now, and why I kept warning everybody: the dollar's going to go down and Bitcoin's going to go up, because every other currency is getting, devalued. So it is what it is, dude. But if you are investing, you're making some money.
I am, as much as I can. I'm not one of those like haves up there, but I mean,
no, neither am I.
A little bit I can, I do, and I've seen some returns from it. So
yeah, neither am I. But it's not too late for anybody out there to get into Bitcoin, because it's going to go to 1 million. It's going to go to 1 million. So it's not at 100,000 yet. If you're any good at math, that's a 10x. Right. I'm not sure where you're going to get 10x from in investments. That's really hard to do. So I'm just telling you, in the next few years, you're going to get 10x from this. So 10x is not bad investment in any way, shape, or form. So that's why I keep telling people, yeah, I've been at it since it was at 16, but that doesn't mean that, just because you didn't get in at 16 or at 50 or at 60, that at 76, it's still too late. I tell people, I bought yesterday.
Really?
So, yeah. I'm not stopping. I have on Swan. I have every week. I have without even it's every, I think, Thursday. I think it is every Thursday. I buy every Thursday. It's an automatic buy. I just it doesn't matter doesn't matter to me what the price is. I don't even care. It's just leave it there. Just go. Listen. I'm not going to be a hypocrite when I tell people don't have a savings account, have a Bitcoin account. That's what I tell everybody. Your savings doesn't grow, your Bitcoin does. So whatever it is, $5, $10, $50, 500, 5,000, whatever it is you can afford, that's what you put away every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever. And that's what I do. Whatever I can put away that I can put aside that is going to go savings, it goes into Bitcoin.
Okay. It's not timing the market, it's time in the market.
Very good. Very good.
Someone told me that once, so I remember.
Very good. That's what it is.
Although I'm still trying to time the market too much.
Once you own Bitcoin for 4+ years, you then see the cycle. And then you're like, holy shit, I'm up a couple 100%. It's like, well, shit. So, but the problem is that everybody wants like the immediacy of the payoff. When nothing really is like that. There's no investment really that's lucky. That's lottery. That's, something. But most investments take time to grow. Well, this actually grows faster than most investments, but you got to give it time. Like you just said, that's what you got to do. You got to put it in. Don't worry about it. And then when you come back, you're going to go, wow, it grew like crazy,
Yeah, that's me. That's me with my retirement. I'm like, I don't check it, and it's just automatically going in there, and I'm like, oh, okay. I come away a little pleased every time I check back in.
Yeah, you got to tell the Sentinel to start buying Bitcoin and put it in their reserve.
Yeah,
that way they can have a bigger budget for you, and they can send you earlier in Los Angeles. Although apparently the big old radio show has a bigger budget than the Sun Sentinel.
No, but I mean, I got to cover Saturday here, so that's the thing.
We can cover that shit on Zoom, bro, and have either one of you.
They're not doing Zooms. They got an open locker room. You got to be there to talk to. It might be Jalen Ramsey talking.
One of you can be there. You are Perk. The other guy goes to LA.
Oh, well, that is already what we do for Fridays on a normal week, which is what Saturday would be. It's just one of us comes because it's one person can handle that day of coverage. So
yeah, I would figure that you would do that for the AFC East games, not for Not this one. This one doesn't have those kind of stories.
No, a lot of the others are going early, but yeah. And I mean, so we always got a rule. It's 2-night stay for a game. I tried once, and they were like, "We're not going to go for 3 nights for a 3.5-hour game," and I was like, damn, yeah, that does make sense. So, I mean, if I was running the business, I wouldn't let my employees do it that way either. So I get it. Yeah.
That's a good thing when you run your own business.
Yeah.
You do what you want.
I can get away with it if I have someone to stay with, or if I just want to pay for a room myself, or I could do West Coast. I could do 2 nights on the front end and then take a red eye back, and then it's all in the company that way too. So there's ways to manipulate it, but this one it's just like standard. Get in day before. It's a night game, so I still got plenty of time before the game, and then leave the next day. Standard.
Yeah, as a music aficionado, there's no way I can come to Los Angeles, pop in and pop out. There's no way I can do that, because I know I'm just going to leave shows on the table. There's no way I'm going to do that. So, shit, I got a concert every night leading up to the game. So, I am absolutely set. All right, so they get Zach Sealer back. Who else are they going to get back this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're monitoring Javon Holland at safety and Kader Kohu. Of course, both would be huge. You get Javon Holland back. Obviously, that's your stud safety. And, we saw between Poyer and May, they've held it down. They're veterans who know what to do back there. But then you had Poyer with the penalty late. You had May with the missed tackle, open field on the long touchdown. So still things that could have been rectified. And, hey, even don't count out in the safety group Elijah Campbell, actually, if Javon Holland can't play. If he takes over somewhere we were just talking to defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, and he's been impressed by Campbell. And he said he would not be surprised if he sees defensive snaps. So keep an eye on that. And Kohu, of course, so important, because then you don't have to go down to a Cam Smith Storm Duck, if he's available, he would be the next one up, a Cam Smith or a Saran Neal. And we saw how that went against Buffalo. So if you get Kader back, then he brings that versatility. He could be inside. He could be outside. Allow Jalen Ramsey to come inside and come on the blitz. So those would be huge returns if they are able to indeed come back for this game.
Yeah, let's hope so that they're able to come back. On the Austin Jackson front, what do we know? Because, dude, the offensive line has played outstanding football here. You know what I'm saying? And Austin Jackson has been, since he turned the corner, he has been maybe the most consistent guy on that line in the last couple of years now.
Yeah, well, we don't know too much about Austin Jackson's knee injury. We didn't see him at practice yesterday. Mike McDaniel, who is the only person that the Dolphins allow to talk about injuries, you can't talk to players about other players' injuries, or at least they're not going to answer about it, or assistant coaches as well. So
Jalen Phillips ain't doing media on Saturday. I'm going to be there doing my show, and he's not going to go. He's not going to come on my show because of
no interview there. Yeah, I get it.
They already told me ahead of time, and they go, "I hope you understand." I go, "Man, I've been at this for 34 years. I get it." Yeah. The team's playing bad. All I can ask him is about a team playing bad, and all I can ask him about is his knee. And these are things that the team doesn't want to talk about. So I get it, bro. Don't worry about it. And his dad laughed. So it's not a big deal. It's not.
That would have been a great exclusive if you could have gotten that. But we know the times that we're in. But
although I probably could push it and ask him, listen, bro, I'll just give him a bunch of softball questions. But then you know what happens? Everybody comes at me like, why didn't you ask him about the knee? Why didn't you ask him about the team? And it's like, so I'm like, it's cool. Don't worry about it. I understand that, but he is going to be there signing autographs for fans.
Yeah.
So, and the money goes to charity.
Mm-hmm. So, and this is a month and a half away from out of this injury. He's going back to his hometown.
Don't start. Don't start with the recovery.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying how great it is that he's doing something like that, just like so soon after. I mean, he could be just like, I got to rehab, cancel like everything I had planned. But he's going, because this is when the Dolphins go back to his hometown, and it's important to him. So I think it just speaks volumes to the guy that he is. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything.
Hey, listen, I watched Patty Smythe last night. She's 67. She has a broken bone in her foot. And she still went out there on stage for an hour and 45 minutes, hopping around, running around, all that kind of stuff, because she always is very active on stage. And she goes, I've got a broken foot, but F it. She's a New York girl. So she's brutally honest. By the way, John McEnroe was there, her husband.
Okay.
He played guitar in 2 songs yesterday. So that was actually pretty cool. All 3 of their daughters were there. It was nice. It was actually nice. It was
so she's like the Dolphins playing through injuries, like Alec Ingold trying to battle it out with that calf in Buffalo. Emmanuel Ogbah had a slight tear in his bicep, and he's roughing it out there. So, she could be a football player. But you were asking about Austin Jackson. So, I mean, we get Mike McDaniel before practice starts on Wednesday, or this would be Thursday this week. So not on our radar. He didn't exit the Buffalo game with it. Haven't seen any reason why he will be dealing with a knee issue, and then suddenly he's missing from practice. And then we find out when the injury report comes out that it was because of a knee injury. And now we'll see how it progresses throughout the week. If he is back today, when we do go out to practice later this afternoon, or then we'll finally get to ask Mike about it tomorrow morning. So that's when maybe we find out what his game status is. But if he can't go, then I would think Kendall Lamb as the veteran, more swing tackle. I think Patrick Paul has just been handling left tackle duties. We did see him when Terron Armstead missed the Tennessee game, but I think it would be Kendall Lamb if Austin Jackson can't go on the right side.
By the way, Welton Rayom, a proud sponsor of this program. Please reach out to them if you need the lawyers, because, if you need a lawyer and with the insurance issues going on, you do not have the power you used to. And the most important thing is that you get the right lawyers. Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom, they are right, baby. 954-966-4646, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Please call them 954-966-4646. And remember, they have their own adjusters. So if you're noticing any brown spots in your roof, you think you have a leak, don't call the insurance company. They're going to send their adjusters. Their adjusters work for them, not for you. Call Welton Rayom. They have their own adjusters, and they're going to work to your best benefit. That's the idea. Get you what you deserve. So call them 954-966-4646. You won't even have to ever deal with the insurance company. That's a beautiful thing. That's headache free, baby. Welt and Rayom. People are asking about Chubb. I know he's not here this week. So do we have an inclination on anything going on with Chubb?
Not yet ready to return to practice. And so
That's
when
weeks.
I asked, so it's still multiple weeks. So not imminent for sure, because when I asked last week about Bradley Chubb to Mike McDaniel, he said not on his radar yet, which he has to be like at the point where everything is ready to go so that he can first get to the practice field and go through, first a limited practice, then eventually work his way to full participation in practice. So, it's still taking some time. More in November now. So, I think like best case scenario would be like toward the end of this month, at the rate we're going.
All right. And this is something that I don't think most of us ever thought we would say, but we have to say it now. If he is returning, Jesus, River Craycraft. Holy shit, dude. Man, do you need a number 3 wide receiver? Look, I'm glad that McDaniel finally figured out that Jonnu Smith is supposed to be your number 3 wide receiver. He's the guy that's supposed to get all the action, and I'm glad he's getting it. But you do need that guy in the slot that knows how to run the routes precisely, is going to be there when Tua needs him, has got terrific hands. He's the best blocking wide receiver you have on the team, so he helps your running game on top of all of that. He's the best football player you have at that position, overall. And it's funky how the River Craycraft thing is actually a real blessing for the offense.
Yeah, his return would be very welcome. Now, one thing I was very impressed with in Tua's game on Sunday in Buffalo was, with so much attention going to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, he did find whoever that third option was, which was Devon Achane had 8 receptions on 8 targets. So, I mean, every time he threw his way, Jonnu Smith was heavily involved, and they even finally got Odell Beckham Jr. his first few catches as the Dolphins. So, obviously the returns haven't been very, very huge with Odell. So yeah, if River Craycraft can come in, either push him or be that guy, then that would be even better. And then, as we know, defenses want to make sure they stop Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. If Tua sees that, he can keep them honest before that, with incorporating all the other guys being that point guard of the offense. And then once they do play the Dolphins offense honest, then you could really start opening up the big plays to Tyreek and Jalen.
And let me tell you, just a little extra bonus, the future River Craycraft, his name is Malik Washington.
Yeah.
And Malik has not had a guy that is going to play his position, show him how to play his position, running routes, catching, blocking, doing all the things you're supposed to do. He doesn't have that example out there until now. And having River on the field to do that, I think it's actually really, really good for Malik Washington, because for me, Malik Washington is a guy he's got the goods, bro. He's got the goods. He's just young, and he just needs to, develop and learn. And I think a guy like River, he can teach him a lot by just watching how he does everything.
Yeah, and Rivers a fantastic tutor in that regard, because when training camps, when Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they draft wide receivers to keep on, their little internal competition that they have. They have 2 teams that they split the wide receivers up in a competition that Wes Welker created. River Craycraft is like that top draft pick for these guys, because he gets all the points from Wes Welker and all the little things, all the intangibles, and he blocks and he lines up right, runs the routes correctly. So that's a great guy for Malik Washington to learn from. And Malik, he's got those goods as far as
he's a football player. He's a football player.
Yeah, yes. Definitely. But also, he's a smart kid too. I mean, he went to Virginia. You got to be smart to go to Virginia. Oh, yeah. And so he will retain this information when it comes to him. He comes across very coachable to me.
Oh yeah. That's why I think the Craycraft thing, it sounds ridiculous in a way, like I'm getting that excited about it, but it brings a extra balance to the offense. It's a safety valve for Tua. It's also, quarterbacks need people that they can count on. And it doesn't matter what quarterback it is in any era, they always have people that they can count on. And, he's dealt with a lot of transitional period right now with young guys or an OBJ or whatever, or a new tight end. Having River there, a guy that's been in the system all 3 years, I think that gives him a comfort zone that any quarterback needs. You know what I mean? Wes Welker was a comfort zone for Brady for a long, long time.
I was just going to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All those kind of things. It's very important to have that, and I think that brings a lot to the table. Overall.
All those guys Brady had, whether it's a Welker, whether it's a Julian Edelman, Danny Woodhead, a Danny Amendola, all these guys. Like River. I know I just reeled off like 4 different white wide receivers, and then which wasn't my intention.
No, I know. But
those type of players, and Malik Washington can be that same guy too.
Yeah, but hey, listen, that's just kind of the way it goes. But sometimes, Marino, he had, whether it was Tony Nathan, whether it was Johnson, Rose, Hardy, Keith Jackson. It wasn't only about Clayton and Duper. Jimmy Cephalo. There were Duriel Harris. There were other guys that he could always count on outside of the big 2 throughout time. That all those faces changed. Jim Jensen was a guy that he could count on too at the same. So every quarterback in the history of time has had those safety valves, those guys that they can count on, that they know are going to be there. O.J. McDuffie was that guy for Marino for a long time, dude. You talk about football players, okay? That's one of the best football players I have ever seen in my life. I know when we talk about the best receivers, there's going to be a couple of other guys we'll talk ahead of McDuffie. But when we talk about football players, McDuffie's going to be ahead of most of those guys. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like the return of Craycraft. I think that really adds a lot to the table overall. I like the Dolphins this week. I know it sounds crazy. They've let everybody down so much. But the way you're running the ball and now the way Tua it has more options and now you're going to add Craycraft to it, I like the Dolphins this week on the road. I really do.
I don't think it sounds too crazy. I think that's why you're seeing the movement. I'm actually pulling up the app here to see what the line was.
2.5. It's 2.5.
It started, but then it moved into the Dolphins' favor where I see right now Hard Rock Bet 1 for the Rams, -1 for the Rams.
Yeah.
So it's moving in the Dolphins' direction. And I think I even saw it get down to maybe, depending on the sports book, like half a point or even. So, yeah, I mean, my prediction is Dolphins 27, Rams 24 in overtime. So dramatic fashion. Oh, yeah, I think I said that last time where it's like, yeah, Monday night I'm going to end up putting this game in overtime. But I just see it going the other way now, where after 2 heartbreaking losses, late field goals against the Cardinals and against the Bills, now it goes the other way. The Rams are rolling, though, especially once they got their receivers back. So it's going to be tough, especially on the road in a primetime setting. But now I think it also goes the other way for them after they just had an overtime victory. These things kind of even out. And I think right now is the moment when we're going to see the Dolphins begin a season turnaround, and it starts with you have to pull off a road win against a team that is on a little bit of a roll, and I think that's what's going to get the team rolling after they just played the Bills so tight on the road. And I still do take positives from that game, although it is a loss, and that's why the Dolphins are 2-6.
Yeah, dude, it's about winning. It's about winning. It's about winning in the playoffs, not just winning. You need to win enough to get in the playoffs, and now you need to win in the playoffs. And if you can't do that, you're not the coach. That's it. It's not anything else. It's that's the frustrating part about all of this. Now, you've dug yourself in a hole now that it's impossible to climb out of, considering the way you played. And I don't know how you're going to just turn it around all of a sudden and just run. All of a sudden, you're going to run the table. The coach is going to coach like he's never coached before, not make mistakes. The team is going to stop making the mistakes that it's constantly made under his direction in 2+ years. It's just like we're asking for something that they've never done before under Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, that's why it was always so tough when you saw them losing these games early that they should win, and you said, but under Mike McDaniel, they've never won late in the year. So it only gets tougher if you dig yourself a hole early, whereas past seasons they've started off very high at 8-3, 9-3, and then you end up having that December crash. So now this year it's got to be the opposite. You have the early crash, and now you have to play like you did. You go on these big win streaks like you did in the past 2 seasons early. You got to do it late now.
Yep, I'm with you there. The Javon Holland injuries, how is that going to hurt negotiations?
Boy, I mean, I honestly would not even see a scenario that Javon Holland comes back. I mean, unless it's like, because I feel like he's going to get his money somewhere. David Mulligetta, his agent, he gets his players paid. So I feel like he's going to get the money somewhere. The only scenario would be a situation where he doesn't get his money, and it's just like, oh, maybe I could come back. But I think just now we're seeing a situation where if he's high priced and he had the injury late in the 2023 season that cost him so many games, and some I think questioned whether he was ready to come back, and he played it safe, and then now we're dealing with a couple more injuries. I would venture to believe more likely than not that it's just a situation where he's not coming back after this year, which is why I thought of him as a trade piece potentially. But ultimately nothing transpired. But I feel like as far as negotiations, it's just I see him walking.
I think safety's a cheap tag, so I think they tag him.
You think they tag him? I haven't looked at what. Yeah, I got to look at the price on it, but I know it isn't that lucrative.
Yeah, it's a cheap tag. So you tag him, you hold him, and then let him play a healthy year. Then it gives him a year to really show his value, and then he'll get his contract because it's really hard to pay him. Nobody's going to pay him big money. Not the Dolphins, no one else, because of the 2 years of injuries. So, hey, let's revisit this next year. We'll tag you. You'll get your guaranteed money. You have a great season. Then we'll talk about an extension. I think that's what's going to happen because if you're the Dolphins, you don't want to let him go just like that.
Yeah, especially
tag him and control him for a year. And if he has injuries again, then, unfortunately, you're going to have to part ways. But if he stays healthy like he was earlier in his career, I think he's a flat-out star. I really do. I think he's a monster. I really do. I just think he's had the worst luck the last 2 years. And this wasn't his career. He wasn't an injury-prone player at Oregon or any of that kind of stuff. So this has kind of been just bad luck for him. But I can see him getting tagged next year.
Yeah, and especially if you're in a situation where you're trying to run it back with the same core, which the Dolphins will be, and compete again next year, then, it only hurt you to lose another player. But they were trying to do that this year with the loss of Christian Wilkins, the loss of Robert Hunt, loss of Andrew Van Ginkel, which has been huge, as we've seen how he's done with Minnesota. So, so you do lose players sometimes in trying to run it back. It's just the nature of the NFL. But, we as far as tagging, you'd also have to look at salary cap implications for a team that's already going to be pretty strapped for cash. So I haven't gone that far yet, covering the season. But once we get closer to the offseason, then, I'd probably be looking more into that. And
they'll have some flexibility this offseason, but that's it. It ends. I said that 2 years ago that they were going to have 2 more years because people, this is a cap, crisis, or what was it that Omar was calling it, a cap apocalypse. And it wasn't, and it won't be this year either. It'll be difficult. They'll be able to manage it, but it'll be hard. They'll get it done. It's 2 years from now. 2 years from now, that's the problem with this team. Their window fiscally will close after next season. And then you're going to have to start cutting people, and then you're going to have to start. So that's the sad part about all of this. They're in their vision, their run started 2 years ago with Flo, or three years ago with Flo. And then it was supposed to go through these years of McDaniel, but you haven't got it done. And you're not going to get it done this year. So next year is kind of your final year where then financial problems really will come at you because all of those salaries that you have guaranteed now in the last 2 years, they're all going to come to a head, bro. And you're going to have to make cuts.
Yeah. Right. And that core just gets older because then Tyreek Hill's
it's old. It gets turned over and then that's why I keep telling people I don't think there's going to be a lot of changes. I didn't like you and I thought there wasn't going to be much trades or any move.
Right.
Maybe Calais, maybe accommodate him to do him a favor. But outside of that, no. And then you're not going to really fire the coach because you just extended him, which you probably extended the front office and you extended all the players. And you really can't do anything with these contracts till 2 years from now. So you're really kind of stuck. And if you bring somebody in, they're kind of inherit everything that's there. And then that sets them up for failure. So you're probably just going to tweak a little bit in the offseason and basically come back with everything again and give them that final run before you'll have no choice. Either you enjoy the success or you're going to have to deal with the teardown.
Yeah. Yeah. You see it out with this core. That's the only way. It's really the only way.
They have no choice.
Yeah.
You start what people don't understand it. Oh, we'll trade Tyreek and trade this. No, you can't, bro. Those salaries get accelerated, the bonuses, and then you're forced to cut 5-10 other people. And people that you really want to keep that might be affordable and all that. And it's hell, bro. It's fiscal hell right now for them, to be quite honest. You know?
Tough spot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, what do you got going on the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Working on a few things before the Rams game, following up on all the injury updates, but then also might be writing about either Chop Robinson after he had his first sack, getting going. Jalen Ramsey and Odell Beckham Jr., they won a Super Bowl with the Rams, so them going back there, hopefully we hear from them. And I'll be ready to pivot if we hear from Tyreek and then he says something that I got to write. So just keeping my eyes and ears open until we get to game day.
Tyreek still here? I thought he was going to get traded to Kansas City.
Yeah, some people come up with like just speaking out of their ass with some of these scenarios.
It's like, and yet ML football has a following that is crazy. I don't know how many people follow. It ends up, landing on my timeline. I don't follow those clowns because they don't have anybody reputable out there that has any connections whatsoever, yet they throw all kinds of crazy shit. And, dude, fans fall for it. Hook, line, and sinker. And let me tell you, media member after media member reminds people these people don't know what they're talking about on different stories in different cities because they see it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I'm just like talking with my friends and they're asking about like some stupid shit. And I'm just like, no, where are you getting it? And it turns out, yeah, they're getting their information from just like social media aggregators that are just throwing up whatever to get a bunch of views. So unfortunately, that's how a lot of people get their information nowadays.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. All right, follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. We will
yes,
catch
sir.
you up.
Thank you.
You got it on Monday night. Be good. There you go. And, of course, Welton Rayom, 954-966-4646. You want the ultimate tackles, the ultimate bulldogs, the people that will get after those insurance companies. I saw it firsthand when Progressive did not want to give us what we deserved. And those insurance companies will do that. And Ron DeSantis has actually empowered them even more and weakened our side. So the most important thing is to hire the right lawyers. Jeff Welt, Daniel Rayom, oh, baby, they are right. 954-966-4646. Manny Navarro is next.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. If you're a Miami sports fan, there's only one store to go to, and that's Canes Wear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Canes Wear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All right. How you feeling, baby? You feeling good?
Always good. Oh, how are you?
Very good. I'm going to test you now because, Bitcoin's at 76,064. Okay.
All right.
We've been trying to see if it goes to 70. Us greedy bastards. Once we hit 77, will it go to 78 and 80? When was it going to hit that? When's it going to hit 90? When's it going to go to 100? Because it's going to get there, but it's just one of those things. But you know how it is. When you come on, there seems to be a pump. So I pulled up the Bitcoin chart now, see where it's at, and we've been wanting to. It's been fiddling around 76. The last couple days. And so 76, like 7, 6, something like that is like the height. We haven't hit 77 yet. That's the next stage. So I'm figuring with you,
yes,
we'll hit 77 by the end of this interview here. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm here to do, brother. I'm here to raise this. To bring
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. What can you tell us about Georgia Tech? What do we expect from the Ramblin' Wreck?
Well, it looks like Haynes King is probably going to come back and start in this game for Georgia Tech, which means that they're a different team with him. If you watch them in their last two games, which was a loss to Notre Dame and at Virginia Tech, they didn't score a lot of points. And the reality is their backup quarterback isn't as good as Haynes King. Usually the case with every team, right? Oh, the backup never as good as the starter. So they're going to be better. He is a mobile quarterback, a guy who can.
In the case of the Dolphins, the backup doesn't even belong in the goddamn league. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So they are 5-4. Brent Key, I think, does a really good job for what he has. If you look at Georgia Tech on the surface and how they have to recruit, because they are an academic institution, it's sort of like some of these other schools. They can't get certain players into their school. It's just the way it is. They're never going to have the athletes necessarily that some of the other elite programs do in college football. But Brent Key's an offensive lineman, former offensive lineman, offensive line coach. Like Mario, wants to get bigger and badder up front, and they are better on the defensive side of the ball than they were a year ago. They were one of the worst defenses in the country last year. So he made some good changes. They're a better defense than they were last year, and their offense is potent when Haynes King is healthy. So I think it's a formidable challenge. This isn't the toughest team Miami will face on their schedule all season, but I would say they're probably top 5.
You said something that in our last one when we were talking about Manny, and you just mentioned it now about the challenges of coaching at Georgia Tech, that you actually have to hit the books at Georgia Tech. Mm-hmm. And so when you look at what goes on with Manny, you say, well, I could see him staying there forever at Duke. But if you're Manny Diaz, why stay forever at Duke? Why not try to go to a South Florida, a Central Florida, a program where the academic standards aren't nearly like they are at Duke and Georgia Tech and, Vanderbilt and Stanford and shit, that it's so hard to find really, really smart football players like that they're not that they're just football smart, but they're also book smart, man. That's really difficult. So why would a guy, just an off the beaten question there, to go off of what you said, if I'm Manny Diaz and I prove myself at Duke, why don't I want to go at least somewhere else where maybe, again, they'll be happy with a decent record, not necessarily you got to go to a program that you got to be trying to, challenge for a national championship?
It's a really interesting question and a really interesting topic, because I think everybody just always assumes that every coach wants to win a national championship, right? I'm in this to get to the school that can pay me the most money and where I can win, right? I think, when you play in a sport that has 134 FBS programs, let's not forget how big the field is now, right? And you've got, 60, close to 70 Power 4 programs. Those are a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunities. And ultimately, we know this, we've followed this sport long enough. There's really only 5 or 6 teams every year that have a chance of winning the national championship. I know the playoff has expanded to 12 teams. I know more people are going to technically get in. But the reality is there's only a few teams that can win the championship. And so I think for guys like Manny Diaz who do this because they love to coach defense, because they love to, they just love football, they love being around this, you want to be in a situation that's stable. And going to a program like Duke or like Kentucky, like Mark Stoops has done, where he's been there for a long time, you get an opportunity to do what you love to do and make good money doing it. And you coach at the Power 4 level. So while I think some guys certainly are hungry for more, I think other times coaches can get into a state of affairs where, hey, you know what? I got a good job. I got a good situation. Yeah, I'm winning championships, but I'm doing what I love, and I'm getting an opportunity to win. I'm not at a bad program. I'm not dealing with angry fans. I'm not dealing with, so I think you have to think that not everybody's the same, and people look at jobs and opportunities differently.
Yeah, Cutcliffe was there for a long, long time.
Yep.
And he had already gone through the ringer, winning it as an OC under this guy Tennessee, Fulmer.
Right.
And when Fulmer wanted with T. Martin, quarterback, right
after Peyton. Yeah.
Yeah. So he already had that taste, and then he went to Duke, and he was happy there for a long time, and he got to develop some decent quarterbacks there at the college level. Almost everybody would look at their college quarterbacks and say, well, they're being coached well and that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So
there's a different level of pressure,
it
bro.
makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot. Peace of mind makes
stability.
Stability,
peace of mind. I don't need to move my family. When you're coaching in the NFL, you are under the pressure to win all the time. You don't make the playoffs. I mean, it's a different job. In college, like I said, there's 134 of those jobs now, brother. There's 134 of them. You got 32 in the NFL. It's a different monster.
Yeah. No, that makes a ton of sense. Injury-wise, how are the Canes doing this week?
Yeah, well, they're without Jadis Richard, which is a big loss for them because he was their starting cornerback. For the last 6 games, he's a big physical guy on the outside. He'd been playing pretty well. Had a few decent plays. So now you're down to 6 healthy DBs who play a lot. And you're hoping that Damari Brown comes back. I know Mario's been hinting at it for a while, but I think ultimately. That's a thing. We'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it, right? When he's out there again playing, because he was a guy who hurt his groin last year, played through the pain, tried to come back for the start of camp, opened the season, at Florida, and then kind of re-injured himself. So once you're damaged goods or dealing with something like that, it's very hard to just get healthy and get back on the field. So we'll see if he can, but that would be a big addition for them. And I think Elijah Alston has probably missed the last couple games, has been banged up. He's kind of a depth piece as far as rushing the passer, but I don't worry about that, because they've got young guys that they can bring in there to rush, pass rush the quarterback for 15 to 20 snaps a game. So they're talented and deep at that spot.
Yeah, and you're facing a much better passing game in Georgia Tech than their prior history under Johnson.
Yeah.
But you're still not facing, this incredible scaring passing attack. So even if you're without the corner, the pass rush you have should be able to, not really expose the secondary that badly. Put it that way.
Yeah, I think, Georgia Tech is at their best when they run the football.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be priority number one. It's slow down Jamal Haynes, slow down Haynes King. Don't allow them to extend drives. If I'm coaching against Miami this week, that's what I'm trying to do. I want long offensive drives so that I don't have to have Cam Ward out there for 12, 13 possessions. I only want him on the field for 8 or 9. So, which is what Florida State essentially tried to do.
1 or 2 plays to score, bro. So that's on the field.
That's what you're hoping for. I mean, the ridiculous 3rd down conversion percentage for Miami this season. So if you're Georgia Tech, you're trying to slow the game down and run the football and score as many touchdowns as you can so that you can just keep pace with this team.
Is he the Heisman favorite?
Right now he is, according to Vegas. I think he is. I think he's the best player in college football. I think he's the most valuable player in college football in terms of what he means to his team. But the problem is there is voter fatigue, and that is a very real thing. And I think the voter fatigue is, why do we give it to a quarterback every single year? And so this year you have Travis Hunter, who is doing things that very few people have done. Let's face it. To start on both sides of the football and play 130 snaps a game, and to be good.
Cam runs the table and he goes undefeated and wins his conference, because it's not so much going undefeated with this schedule, because the schedule is not impressive. I get it. But if you cap it off with Clemson, I don't know how you don't give it to him, because he's so exciting. And listen, I'm a Colorado supporter. I'm a Colorado supporter of Deion. I'm not one of those haters. In fact, I love going after the Deion haters. But they're going to lose another game or two. And I'm just saying, this guy's, you just said it, he's the most important player to a team. And if that team goes undefeated and beats Clemson and wins the ACC, you're accomplishing a lot for a program that has never accomplished that. And so
I agree.
I would give it to him. But I get the fatigue thing, but man, undefeated.
Wow. Yeah, I think any other year I would say it's a slam dunk that Cam Ward is going to win the Heisman because there's no Travis Hunter to compete with, right? His competition would be a running back, Ashton Johnson out of Boise State, who's special, but he's not that special. He is not the greatest running back I've ever seen. So I agree with you. I think that the issue here is Colorado is 6-2 right now. Colorado has a chance to reach the Big 12 championship game. And if they do that, brother, if Colorado wins their last 4 games.
Stage. Same thing. Stage.
Yeah.
He's taking them to a stage they've never been, like Cam Ward. The Canes have never won the ACC. You know what I mean? That would be amazing for them. They beat Clemson and win the ACC championship game. These are things that they have been wanting to accomplish since they got into this conference. That would be a double whammy. But again, if Travis Hunter gets to the Big 12, he's doing the same thing for them. Even though Shador is obviously also the reason why.
Well, let me give Miami fans who just scoff at Travis Hunter and say, oh, he's not doing anything. He is the 11th leading receiver in yards per game in college football. Xavier Restrepo is 10th. So imagine Xavier Restrepo doing what he does on offense, right? Which is lead his team in receiving, score a bunch of touchdowns, catch a bunch of balls, and then go on the other side of the football and start and cover the other team's best wide receiver and slow him down every single game.
It's ridiculous.
Puts you in a different perspective, right? When I tell you to think of what that is. So it's not like Cam would lose to anybody who's unworthy. I think Travis Hunter is very worthy as well.
Right. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting finish, but I know Miami fans want to see Cam Ward win it. And like I said, I think any other year, if he doesn't have Travis Hunter, he is a shoo-in to win it, but it's a different.
Yeah, it makes a lot. The Big 12 stuff that you mentioned, that would be what gives them the edge. But man, God, if UM run, they have to run the table. If he loses any of these games, he's out because it's just not a great schedule. But if he runs the table and then beats Clemson, it kind of proves that the schedule doesn't mean shit. UM is actually really, really good. It's just they were stuck with a mediocre schedule. And when they had an elite team come up in Clemson, they beat them. And then obviously the playoffs won't count for the Heisman, but we'll see later on what they do with, in the playoffs. Speaking of the playoffs, I know it's bullshit. It's just the first poll, but what do you think of them getting the 4th spot?
Well, I could totally see it happening because knowing the people who are involved in the selection process and what they weigh and how the Big Ten and SEC are so ridiculously favored, right? Because of history, not because of what they're doing right now. It didn't surprise me one bit. Miami has the number 1 offense in the country, which is going to help their cause. BYU, who is undefeated and leading the Big 12, does not have the number 1 offense in the country, and they struggle to win some games. So it's a different animal with why Miami gets respect over BYU. But I'm going to say this, though. I think people need to stop showing the SEC and the Big Ten the amount of respect that they get, because I think college football has changed drastically because of the transfer portal. I don't think you have the super team anymore in college football. The Georgias, the Alabamas, the Ohio States still have more talent than everybody else, but it's not overwhelmingly more talent than everybody else anymore. So I think, for people to sit here and just say, well, the SEC and Big Ten deserve the benefit of the doubt, I completely disagree. And I think you just got to look at the results. Look at Georgia's struggles this year with a Florida team, with Kentucky. Look at Oregon struggling to beat Idaho at home by 10 points and only beating Boise State by 3. They're not head and shoulders above everybody else, but yet we're still living in this era where everybody just gives them the benefit of the doubt. And I think that's wrong. I think we have entered a different era, and hopefully in the next few years, that point comes true and people see that, hey, it's not just because of what conference you play in. The transfer portal has changed that all.
By the way, what'd you think of Florida coming out saying, Napier will be here next year?
Well, I think not surprising because the athletic director is still there. If Scott Strickland had been fired, if Florida had a new president in charge, this wouldn't be surprising. But Scott Strickland hired Billy Napier. This is his 4th head coach. For him to fire him is basically admitting defeat, right? And hey, I crapped the bed yet again with a coaching hire. So the next president comes in and says, well, we got to get rid of this athletic director. He's terrible. That might happen anyway. But I'm just telling you, the only reason that happened is because the athletic director is still in charge and the school doesn't have a president yet.
15-18 as a coach. And there's $26.7 million still left on the table after this season.
Listen, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to flip it to you. Which situation is worse right now, Florida State or Florida? They're both really bad, aren't they?
Yeah. The only thing, you're in the SEC, so your climb out of it is a lot harder. Whereas in the ACC, you saw it last year. They got the right transfer portal guys, and they went and turned it around. Look at what UM is doing right now. They're turning around easily. So I would say Florida is the harder one because you're up against so many good programs there. And if you keep proving this way, you're just going to lose people. By the way, the Lagway kid, how serious is the injury?
Well, they were saying, I think Napier mentioned this week that there's a chance he could come back and play. I don't see how when you get carted off with a hamstring, but we will see. We will see. Everybody lies nowadays when it comes to these injury reports, right? They don't want to give any real information on anything. But look, it didn't look good to me. I'd be very surprised if Lagway was available in this game.
Yeah. That to me, I don't know. Getting out of the hole of the SEC is worse. ACC, you can get out of. So that would be, I would say the Florida
that FSU recruiting class has completely gone to crap. They're 1-8.
Sure. But Florida's recruiting is going to go to crap too, and kids are going to transfer if this continues too. It's the same shit.
Right.
You know?
All I know is there's never been a better time to be Mario Cristobal right now because your two biggest competitors in this state, and I know, listen, no disrespect to USF and UCF and all the other Fs in the state of Florida, but if Miami gets this thing rolling, brother,
it's over.
It's over. It'll be a fast-moving express train down the tracks.
It's over because they're the only ones that look like they've got their shit together, whereas everywhere else it just doesn't look that way. You know what I'm saying? And
for sure,
the optics says it all right now. Where the UM thing is trending upwards, whereas FSU and Florida are trending downwards. So if you're a recruit, you got to be looking at Miami, right now as the edge. So that's it's impressive. It's impressive. I hope they're able to continue to build on this, because if they can do that, man, you're right. It's going to get rolling, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, what do you got going on in The Athletic, so folks can check you out?
Yeah, they can tune into my latest podcast, the Wide Right Podcast. It came out earlier this week on Wednesday, so you can download it there wherever you download your pods. You can also read my latest stories. Did ACC Power Rankings again today with Grace Rayner. Gave some perspective on Miami's race with SMU to get to Charlotte, which I think SMU actually has an easier path than Miami does. Miami has to play 2 road games against decent teams, Georgia Tech and Syracuse. It looks like basically SMU's got to beat 3 4-win teams that are at 500. So little easier path for Rhett Lashley's guys. So you can read that. You can read my oddly specific predictions. And then I'm going to have some stories next week. I'm actually writing something on the Gators for next week with the decision to keep the coach and what that means for recruiting.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Manny, as always, thank you, my brother. We will catch up next week. Enjoy the game.
You too, man. Take care.
There you go. The great Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Go see Brett and Jeff and John and Ken and all the amazing people out there at Caneswear. Use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at caneswear.com or in person. And if you order online, if you order over $99, you will get free shipping. So you can get the free shipping, plus you can get 10% off. Check it out, caneswear.com.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
All right. Good day today. My daughter got Teacher Rookie of the Year award. Very proud of her. Very proud of her. Anyway, so good stuff there by Manny Navarro. Getting it done. Appreciate it. If you missed David Furones, you can go back and check it out. Sean, of course, will individually put those up, video and audio for you, so you can catch up on that. Let's see, what else do we have? Last night on the ice, the Panthers got it done against the Predators. And we always like finding what we call Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. And in the Panthers' 6-2 win over the Predators, we found just that. Oh, I don't think he saw it. You see? I think my man Sean is out of the studio. So I think he can't post the Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night. But since he can't post the Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night, I'll do it.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
I got to go with the man, the myth, the legend that was injured, and he's been back now, Alexander Barkov. You know, Barkey was out for a few games. Last night, Barkov had 3 assists. And, you know, he is a tough guy, a leader of this team. One of the things that I love about Tkachuk, because he's the dog, he's the number one guy on this team. But what I love that Tkachuk has brought is he's brought a little magic, a little extra personality to Barkov. Something we had never seen before. You know, one of my complaints of Barkov when it was Barkov Huberdeau was that they were 2 nice guys, just 2 super decent human beings. And there's got to be a little bit of an edge. You got to be a little bit of an SOB. And I said, you got to trade Huberdeau and go get that star. And somehow or another, that's exactly what happened. They went and traded for Tkachuk. And since he's been here, Barkov has kind of come out of his shell a little bit more, if you've noticed. Obviously, we saw it in the Stanley Cup, and we saw it in the celebrations and all that. And it's nice to see that Barkov has been able to open up a little bit more. It's not his style to be a Tkachuk. That's not who he is. That's fine, and that's why we have Matthew to be Matthew. But Barkov brings just everything to it's kind of like William Quigley with Cutter's Edge. Right? He's the lead man. He's the MVP. He's the owner. He runs the place. He's got a great staff. He hires great people around him, and that's why it's a great company. That's why their slogan is expect excellence. So when you call them, you're expecting excellence. And then when they're done, you're getting excellence. So it's tree trimming, landscape design, whatever it is, synthetic turf like we have at our home. Call the people at Cutter's Edge Pro because they will come up big like Alexander Barkov does every night and did last night with 3 assists as the Florida Panthers are now 10-3-1 on the season. That's absolutely ridiculous. After a Stanley Cup win, you're expecting a hangover. You're expecting maybe a slow start or something like that. And to have pretty much the best record in the league, I'm pretty sure of that. I think points-wise, I want to say they're number 2. The Jets have 26, actually. But the Panthers are leading the Eastern Conference with 21 points. I mean, it's impressive, dude. Impressive. Winnipeg's actually 13-1. Florida's 10-3-1. So, you know, that's the difference there. But wow, impressive stuff. And Barkov last night, as always, Just like William Quigley and Cutter's Edge Pro, they are the MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
Smash the hell out of the like button, please. Smash it. And the like button, too. It gets the algorithms going. I see Luis Medina, number 1. Hope you had a smooth flight. Yes, sir. We had a terrible flight, but what are you going to do? Had a 3-hour delay. They couldn't fix the door. Then they deplaned us. Then they fixed the door and put us back on the plane. Before that, they were sending us to one gate. And then, no, let's come back to this gate. And it was just a disaster. American Airlines was a disaster on the way to Los Angeles. That's all I can say. Horn Dog is in. Steve Chapman, Gus 1388, Chris Johnson, One-Eyed Jack. Call me crazy, but I think we get a win Monday night. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Norbert in. Phil Rule. The scoreboard will be lit up Monday night. Let's hope so. Miami 305. Big O Buddy Greer trades. Mo assets. Sold Ross on the right players are here while throwing ex-McGenius under the bus. Greer gave okay for extension. Ross just too loyal. We are doomed. Okay. I kind of understand some of what you wrote. Some of it is also kind of illiterate, so it's kind of mixed up, but I think I kind of understand what you're saying. Luke, Michael Lombardo, Chris Johnson is in the house. The 818 area code. Is that where I'm at? Okay. Your hood. Okay. Cool. Robert T. Well, then I hope you're at the Smudge Pot on Saturday, 2 to 5 p.m. Jalen Phillips will be there signing autographs. Robert T. will be there. Danny Musselwhite. Come on, Miami. Let's tank this season. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Chris Johnson says, In-N-Out, best burger in the world. I love it. I don't know if I would call it the best burger, but I do love that sumbitch. Ooh. Love In-N-Out, bro. Anthony Kyle, what you got planned? Don't you listen to this show, Anthony? You listen every day, bro. Got concerts every day. Been talking about it. Luke says he's got In-N-Outs in Idaho recently. Good for you. We need one in Florida. Finn Rule has Miami winning 38-35. Stephen Harris. The weather is good. It's cool, but it's good. True Finn fan. Print. That's right. To Extreme. Captain Saki. Let's see. Just being realistic. Rams 31, Dolphins 20. Jalen Ramsey can't cover both receivers. And with no pass rush, Stafford is going to carve us up. Could happen. We'll see. Big O, when you have a chance, your victory cigar to the Panthers was at the yes. We will give it in a second. By the way, the gentleman that emailed me about the order, dude, I can't find the email. I wanted to answer, and I can't find the damn email. And I know somebody, because I got a couple of orders that I have to fill for you guys, but I have to, like, I got to find the email. Please make sure you send it to Big O Radio Show at Yahoo. Oh, you know what? I didn't check my what's it called? The spam folder. Maybe it got in the spam because you said you sent a message, and I wanted to message you back. And I kept looking for it. And then I looked for it also on the plane, also on the way here, because I had time. Obviously, I was on the damn plane for 5 hours, and I couldn't find the damn email, so I can fix the order. So please send me if you have any orders there that I need to fix. My bad. I will correct it. I promise you. Let's see. Man of 1,005 holds. True Fin fan, you are correct. They never play well on the West Coast. After this loss to the Rams, expect the locker room drama to begin, and McDaniel will begin to lose the team, says Too Extreme. DevSec and Key, would everyone prefer to have Jamar Chase or Jalen Waddle or Bradley Chubb? I don't know, bro. he had a great night last night. Were you saying that when he was out for half the season? Were you saying when he was injured the year before that too? He's had a lot of injuries too. He's missed a lot of time. A hell of a receiver. But, it's prisoner of the moment stuff that always gets you. Because last year when Chubb is having, 10 sacks and 6 forced fumbles and all that, nobody was saying anything. And it wasn't Chubb's fault. It was more that McDaniel left him in there in a meaningless game. And he got hurt on a ridiculous injury. Let's see what else do we have here. Jamie Zoria in San Jose, smashing the like button. Don't forget, folks, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And you can also make a donation through PayPal, which we added that option because some people said they could not make a donation through Cash App or Venmo because they were out of the country, so they wanted to make it through PayPal. And they did, by the way. Thank you very much, those of you that brought up the PayPal thing. We appreciate the support immensely. It's very nice of you. Very nice. Let's see what else. F Money is in. Chase one, have you changed your mind about? No, why would I change my mind about? Has he won any playoff games? Has he started to do anything in the playoffs? I didn't watch the game last night, so I know that he put up good stats last night. Whatever, bro. It's all good. But when he starts winning playoff games and actually winning something significant like an AFC championship game and a Super Bowl, and call me. Bunch of great stats in the regular season. That's fantastic. I didn't watch the game last night. I had better things to do, but that's fine with me. Hey, listen, nothing's going to change. I get the same shit every year. And then every year he craps the bed in the playoffs because they shut the run down and then they force him to pass. So we'll see. But hey, he'll have a couple of those nights. Whatever he did last night, he'll do that a couple times every year. Have a great time in LA, Big O. Let the Finns win on Monday night. Be the cherry on top. Let's hope so. I mean, my trip's going to be exceptional. We're going to have a great broadcast tomorrow at the Smudge Pot. Okay? Then we're going to, what's it called? By the way, what time do you arrive on Saturday? I just realized that.
I told you this a week ago at noon.
Wow. We'll be running tight. So I'm picking you up and basically going to the Smudge Pot.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. That's life. That's how we do it. That's how we roll. Let's see, what else do we have? What else? Whole bunch of conversation. Miles Deep, greeting Big O and Sean. Safe travels. What abuse season we are having, and with the Dolphins still riding, though. We have no choice. We're always here. Andrew Wolf, didn't see a win this week. Not on Monday Night Football. We suck on primetime. Fins up. Okay. I'll be betting Dolphins. So, Eric Bettenball. Gators' schedule is brutal. Their team is brutal. Their head coach is brutal. JT is in the house. Jay Gelfin, smashing that like button and hitting the subscribe. Tell everybody to hit that subscribe. Andrew Moore, Big O, my wife is going to be at the Phillips fundraiser. Hope you can take a pic with her. I couldn't make it. Been trying to meet you for over 30 years. Andrew, just have her come say hi to me, and we'll definitely take a picture, brother. All right? Have her call you or something, and we'll talk on the phone or something. All right? I'm sorry that you can't be there, dude. By the way, Andrew. Tonight, I'll be at the concert. I don't know where it's at. I forgot the name of the place. Saturday, I'll be at the Troubadour for Dirty Honey. It's not an expensive concert. It's like $30. I think $35, right? And Sunday, I'll be at the Whiskey A Go-Go. So if you can't go Monday and you live here in Southern California, I'm at different places. So you know what I'm saying? So if you want to meet me, you can actually go to those places over the next couple of days. If you have any evening available, you and the wife can come on by and meet me if you want. I'd love to meet you guys. Anybody that supports our show, always love meeting you guys. And thank you, my brother, for 30 years of support. That's pretty freaking awesome. Thank you, sir. Means a lot. Dougie Fresh, congratulations to your daughter and you and your wife as parents. I taught for a while and can attest that the first year is so difficult. What an accomplishment. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, she's in her second year, and she really likes it. It's funny because she was doing medicine and she was kicking serious ass. But she had kind of a come to Jesus thing that she was basically doing it for the cash. And I always told her since she was a child, do what your heart, leads you to do. Don't do it for money, because you'll be a lot happier in the end. I have not worked for money my entire career. I haven't made big money my entire career, and that's fine. But I've had a fantastic career. I have had 34 years of not having a job, basically. And I get to talk what I want. I travel a lot. I get to do everything, pay my bills, everything. And I've been able to connect with people, which is fantastic, which is what I like to do. And it's been really, really satisfying. It hasn't been easy because I do things my way. I'm not really a corporate guy. And so that's always been difficult for me. I don't play the politics. I just don't play it in politics either, by the way. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of my MO. It's who I am. It's not something I would suggest to anybody in this business. You're probably better off just kissing ass and, doing what they tell you to do. So, but if you actually think that the media was meant for you to really express your own opinion, ooh, doggy, that's just not the way they want it anymore, But I've been really happy doing what I do and how I've done it. And that's what I told her. I said, do what you want to do. And then eventually she figured out, she told me one day, she said, yeah, I'm not doing the medicine thing. I'm going to go to teaching like mom. And she's been exceptional at it. She loves it. She loves it. Glad she doesn't watch this show, but that is a job that I could never do. Teaching. That's such a difficult job. Jesus, what teachers do every day and handling 200 kids and 100 of them that don't have any foundation at home. Whoo, doggy. That's not a job I would want. I got to tell you. That is crazy, crazy stuff. So really, really proud of my daughter, Teacher of the Year. That's very, very cool. Anyway, Bitcoin 76,275. Not bad, not bad, not bad. Ethereum still in the 2,900 range, but looks like about to hit that 13,000. Polygon up 11%, Polkadot up 3.5%, Chainlink up 5%, Hedera almost up 4%, Cardano up 14%. About time it starts moving. Injective Protocol 4%. So got a couple of green situations. The market, by the way, The Dow is up 263. The S&P is up 23, and the NASDAQ is up a point. So that's what's going on in the stock market. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What else do we have? McDaniel should not be a play caller. Yeah, but he is, and that's not changing. So, what else? What else? Ray Grullon, howdy-o. Totally forgot John McEnroe was married to Patty Smythe. She sounded good, I must say. Yeah, she still sounds terrific, dude. Still sounds terrific. They've been married for 25 years. They have 3 daughters. All 3 daughters were there at the show last night. She was funny too, man. She was funny. She's good. She's good. I've always been a big fan of hers. Scandal and her solo stuff, and the Don Henley song and everything that she did. She did sing it yesterday. So she sung most of the hits. The only one, Beat of a Heart, is the only one, which is my favorite Scandal song, she did not do. Bet she does it tonight, in the next club she's at. But that's all right. That's cool. But she did so many of the other songs, so I was really, really happy. Hell of a show, man. Hell of a show. She was really, really good. What else? What else? What else? Miles Deep, for a great burger, hit up Tom's Burger for a pastrami burger and the chili cheese fries shake after your concert. Yeah, I'm not into pastrami, bro. So I can't do that, Miles Deep. I'm not really a pastrami guy. So I won't do that. And there's a lot of, I got my In-N-Out, lettuce, tomatoes, and very light sauce. I didn't monster it or anything like that. The only way to keep this face skinny and try to lose more weight is I have to pace my. Remember I told you with the Randy's donuts? I didn't eat the whole donut. I ate half of it. And then I ate the other half in the morning. No, then I ate the other half in the evening. And then I had one extra because I bought 2, and I ate half this morning. And I'll eat the other half later on this evening, which is not what I would normally do, Miles Deep. I would have 2 entire Randy donuts in the morning, maybe. And then in the evening, go by Randy's again and pick up 2 more. Instead, it's 1 in an entire day. It's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm kind of like pacing myself. And so I'll cheat, but I'm not going to do a lot of eating throughout the day. And when I cheat, I don't go too crazy with the cheat. So if I have In-N-Out, it's not going to be monster style. You know what I'm saying? If I have fries, they're going to be cheese fries. Because then I'm just doing a double whammy. And that's what I have to cut out. Once I get to the 205, 210 range, then I can open myself up and be a little and go all out on cheating and then, pace myself. But right now, when I cheat, I'm still pacing myself on the cheating. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a pastrami guy, so I can't do that. So you're going to have to suggest something else, my brother. And I know you can suggest because you live close by. Since you live in Vegas, I'm sure you've been by to LA many, many times. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice of you, sir. Chris Duquette says, are we reporting live from Casa de Orlando? Chris Duquette really doesn't follow the show. Really doesn't follow the show. Not at all. Andrew Wolf. He may turn it on, but he doesn't really pay attention to what's going on. Big O, go to Universal Hollywood. Great time if you're a movie buff or Warner Brothers tour. No, not doing any of that. I'm not doing any of that, my brother. It's talk shows, it's concerts, and relaxing. Today, I'll probably go take a cruise. Since the day is super early here, it's 9:48 in the morning right now, right? Right? Yeah, 9:48 in the morning. It's early. So, I don't know. Go down to Venice, do some, walk around a little bit, get a little exercise, watch the crazies, trip out. But yeah, I'll probably do stuff like that. I'm not going to do any of the touristy stuff like that. If the wife was here, I might do something like that. But this is going to be a sports and music weekend, pretty much. And any type of food, that foodie type thing that I can do that I haven't done here, something like that. Miles Deep says, really respect, stay with that fitness, bro. I have Miles Deep. I have no choice, bro. I'm in my late 50s. I gotta try to get rid of this fat out of my body, and I've got to try to keep it off, because that's where I fail every time. It's not losing weight, it's maintaining it. And that's the part that I'm trying to learn how to maintain. Treat myself, but maintain and keep the weight off. And that's what I'm trying to do. So, like, I had breakfast. Now I'm not going to eat for hours now. I probably won't eat till tonight. And I'll probably try to eat something pretty clean. So it's not too bad, since I already had a chicken biscuit today. And again, one of the things I do with the chicken biscuit is, the trash here? I could show it to you. I grab the biscuit and I only eat half the biscuit. The bottom part of the biscuit, I take it out and I eat the biscuit with the chicken with the top part of the biscuit. The bottom part of the biscuit, I throw away. Just to, that eliminates some calories right there. But yet I'm still cheating. You know what I'm saying? All I did was steal a page from Pat Riley. That as you get older, cut your servings, cut your servings, cut your servings, cut your servings, less and less. Eat less. All righty. Let's see. Try to tune in whenever my job has me down. Sorry, I can't be around 100%. All good, bro. Because I forgot you were going to LA for the Fins game. Sorry, bro. Too funny. Because you're here all the time. You know what I mean? So, like, those of you that are here all the time, I'm like, you watch all the time. You should know. All right. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Why don't we do our 3A graphics sports calendar with the great Alan Blanco? If you're looking for custom printing and embroidery, 786-618-1443. Ravens over the Bengals, 35-34. Baltimore improves to 7-3. Cincinnati drops to 4-6. Joe Burrow, 34 of 56, 428 and 4 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 25 of 33, very efficient. 290, 4 touchdowns, 7 rushes, 33 yards. Jamar Chase was amazing. 11 receptions, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, and some controversial stuff at the end of that game that went against the Bengals. And NFL officiating has become as bad as NBA officiating. Tonight at 6 o'clock, the Heat take on, 9 o'clock, I'm sorry, your time. No, 8 o'clock your time, right? Heat are at Nuggets. It says 6 because I'm watching it here on the West Coast. So Heat tip off at 8. They're 3-4. Nuggets are 5-3. Okay. What else? Panthers last night. They routed the Predators 6-2. They improved to 10-3-1. Barkov with 3 assists. Verhaeghe with 2 goals and an assist. Kachuk had a goal and an assist. Saturday, 3 o'clock, they will face the Flyers at Emirates Bank Arena. Saturday at noon. Tomorrow, takes on Georgia Tech. They're favored by 11. The over and under is 64. Saturday at 8 o'clock. I'll be looking forward to that one. So, I can watch it live because that's at 5, actually, my time. Inter Miami taking on Atlanta, and Inter Miami is minus 265 on the money line. Atlanta's plus 550. Must win if they want to advance and avoid a disastrous end to the season. Sunday at 5 o'clock, the Fort Lauderdale United will take on the Tampa Bay Sun FC, and that'll be at the United Stadium, which is the former Dolphins practice facility in Davie. So support the ladies and support the great people at 3A Graphics. If your company, your club, your corporation, your whatever needs custom printing and embroidery, call 3A Graphics. Call Alan Blanco, that's the owner, 786-618-1443. All right. And remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin donation or Ethereum donation, which we always love. Dolphins and Rams, we will get you ready live from right here. Actually, this will be the studio you'll be looking at right now on Monday night, because Sean and I will be doing it from our hotel suite. We got a 2-bedroom hotel suite here at this place, so we'll be doing it indoor here. We won't be on the road. Our only road appearance this weekend will be tomorrow at the Smudge Pot, and that's it. Okay, we were going to do one at Sharky's, but they refused to accommodate. So they refused to accommodate because they didn't think it was worth laying out the Ethernet line. What can I tell you? You know, they were more worried about collecting their money at the door, and they're going to get their money at the door. So good for them. Have a great time. We will be at the Smudge Pot having a good time, where John Phillips actually accommodated and got us the Ethernet line that we needed. So it's all good in the hood, baby. Okay? World is good. And 2 less hours of weight on my voice, which is beautiful. What else do we have going on? Bronny James sent back to the G League. I love the short-sighted people, because we know there's racism in this world. Of course, it exists. Everybody deals with some kind of bias in life and all kinds of stuff. So I tweeted out that the Bronny James thing is a joke to the NBA, because here's a kid that's taking a roster spot from somebody that could have the potential of contributing. Because, you know, it's not really starting, because you're at the back end of the roster. So we're talking about man number 13, 14, and 15. Those guys, you know, they might be contributors. They're not anchor players or main players or anything like that. But Bronny James is pretty much useless. This guy, what does he average? Like a point or something like that a game? It's terrible. He averages 3.3 minutes per game. Okay? And he's only played 19.3 minutes this year. I mean, it's really, really bad. He is a mediocre player. He has no business being in the NBA. So some guy tweets back at us on X, and he does some typical weak ass shit that comes from people that when you don't have much of a sports education, and you just have kind of, you know, you're lazy, basically, you come up with, you know, stupid shit like, where is it? Did he erase it? I think he erased it after I smoked him on it. He goes, well, you guys don't bring it up when it's, you know, another color, basically, is what he was saying. And I go to him, my man, weren't you around for Mark Richt and his son? Weren't we killing Mark Richt for having his son as the offensive coordinator? right? Shula and his son, some of you aren't old enough. We killed Shula for having David Shula. And David Shula got a job in Cincinnati because of Don Shula. David Shula was a terrible coach. He had no business being a coach in Cincinnati in the NFL. George Wilson Jr. played quarterback in the expansion year for the Dolphins. Do you know who he was? He was the son of George Wilson Sr., the head coach. And people were critical in those days of that, because the kid had no business being in the NFL, period. Nepotism comes in every color, every sexuality, every nationality, every sport, every business. Nepotism is everywhere, dude. So many of you work in jobs that there's nepotism. Some son or daughter is there that doesn't belong there, doesn't know what they're doing. You know it, I know it, but they're the son or daughter. Some of you out there, you know, it's, I get it. There is some racism out there. There's no doubt, but everything's not about that. Yeah. Don't be so weak-minded and use that as an excuse and a crutch, because that's the problem with a lot of minorities. There's some of it out there, but then they want to steal it and use it as a crutch and an excuse for their own failures. And that's the part where, you know, dudes like that, that's why the coward erased his tweet off my timeline. Why? Because I ripped into him right there. Just like on this timeline here. If I catch you and I catch something that you're way off and it's incorrect, well, I'm going to straighten your ass out for it. You know, so that's what I told the guy. You know, bro, grow up, have some balls. Everything isn't about racism. Sometimes nepotism is just nepotism. Doesn't matter the color, dude. Okay? Just doesn't matter the color. We all knew Mark Richt's son had no business being the offensive coordinator. And we talked about it as over and over and over and over again. Happens all the time. Most of us aren't looking at the color. We're just looking at the infraction, at the injustice, not an infraction, the injustice, because it's hurting someone else's opportunity, someone that earned that opportunity. So I'm glad that they're sending his ass down to the G League. I don't even know if he's good enough for the G League. Okay? I watched the kid play and I'm like, wow, the Heat bring guys up from the G League all the time that are way better than this kid. Does he even belong in the G League? That's what I would ask you about Bronny James. It's just so hard being the son of a truly great one. Oh my God, what you have to live up to it's almost impossible, dude. It really is. Let's see. What else do we have? I know we can't predict the market, but where do you think the new Bitcoin floor will be now? One-Eyed Jack, we're pumping into the hundreds now. This is a move now. When we get to 100, 103, 107, I could see a correction into the late 80s. And then that'll be your opportunity to take advantage of that dip. And then I see us pumping into the 120s, 130s. And then you'll have another 20% correction. And it'll be a 20% that they'll give you. And it'll be up to you to take advantage of it. What I don't believe is that this is a cycle that comes and goes and it comes back in 4 years. That will happen with the altcoins. That will not happen anymore with Bitcoin. We're going on a super cycle. Okay, so Trump's about to take over. Cynthia Lummis, has already a Bitcoin reserve plan in place. The U.S. plans to buy 200,000 Bitcoins a year. How do we have a downside? And if the U.S. is going to do that, do you think the UAB is not going to do that? You think London and England is not going to do it? You think Russia's not going to do it? You think China's not going to do it? You think Japan's not going to do it? There's going to be a race. And then the supply shock that is coming that we've all been talking about. So this is a super cycle. So we are perpetually going up. Okay? I know some of you don't want to believe it, whatever, but I've been telling you since 16,000. So here we are approaching 80,000. And I told you that it would break its all-time highs, and it's broken. And I told you it'll hit 100,000 before the end of the year. And I am steadfast on that. But I am also convinced we're headed to a super cycle. We're not stopping. We're not stopping till we get to 7 digits. So will there be volatility along the way? Yeah. But it's all going like this, the volatility, like it always has for 15 years. It'll go up. You'll have a little bit of a correction. That's your time to get in because that's the free percentage it's giving you. And then it'll go back up again. But see, here's my question to you. Okay? What I jack. Here's where I test you. Okay? You're really not a Bitcoiner. Because you've been on this for a while now. You've been on the chat board for a while. This tells me you don't have any Bitcoin at 16 and then 26 and 36 and 46. You wouldn't be asking me that question. Because if you did, all you would do is continue to buy and not even worry about it. Because you would understand that it's going up perpetually. But if you're doing that because now's when you want to get in and you want to see what the top is from here, that means you still haven't done your homework. You still don't believe in it. You're still questioning it. If I'm telling you it's going to 1 million anyway, who gives a shit about what happens in the next month, 6 months, or 6 years? Just buy and hold. When I jack, you're on here every day, dude. I tell everybody, just buy and hold. Period. Watch it grow on its own. But if you live like you're living right now, okay, what's the new floor? I don't give a shit. I just bought again. I don't care. And I'll buy again next week, and I'll buy again next week. And when there is big dips, I'll buy even more. I will not stop buying. I am not worried about a floor. Why am I worried about a 75 floor at the moment for a week or two or a month? Why was I worried about the floor between 49 and 70? Didn't give a shit. Every time it went down into the 50s, I just kept buying. Just kept buying. Because eventually you'll never see the 40s and the 50s again, the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, and you won't see 100 again. When it's at 150 and 175, you won't see the 100 ever again. Don't worry about the floor. DCA, one-eyed Jack. That's all. You got extra money? Buy it. Don't worry about the price. Just buy it. Remember that guy, Sean, a couple weeks back, goes to me, he had $10,000. Remember that? We're at like 50, 55, I think. And it dropped a little bit, dropped like 3,000-4,000 after we talked. So if he spent the 10,000 there at 55, let's say, and it dropped to 52, 53, he might have been a little pissed. What do you think he's at right now, Sean? That he bought at 55 and it's at 77. You think he's feeling all right now? Exactly. And you know what? If he bought at 55 and it dropped to 52, 53, what's he supposed to do, boys and girls? Buy again. Because they just gave you another drop, another gift. It'll get back to 55 and more. It's at 77. The guy that spent $10,000, that guy that told me, hey, do I buy? I said, yeah, buy right now, bro. Don't worry about the price. So One-Eyed Jack, you have not learned yet. You still don't get it. You still don't believe. You still don't understand. So if you're just buying to buy to get out right away, I can't help you with that, bro. I'm not rich. I buy and I don't even worry about it. I don't care. Oh, there's a dip, I'm buying more. That's all I care about. I don't worry about it. Why? Because I've been buying since I was 16. It's never going there again. I just told you guys this. I gave you guys a stat. Thanks to George from Cryptos R Us, he came up with it. The day of the presidential election, whatever that number Bitcoin was at, which is 70, it's never seen again moving forward for the next 4 years. Never seen again. So you never go back down to that number ever again. So 70,000, that's where it was on election day. You'll never see 70,000 again. The election day 4 years ago, that number was never, ever in the dips. It never went back down again. So wherever it takes off, you'll never see 70. The guy that bought 55, that will never, ever see again. Ever. And that guy's killing it right now. That bought it at 55. And he probably thought, oh, man, it's kind of expensive at 55. Now it's at 77. He's going, damn, that ain't expensive. I did a freaking kick-ass job. You're damn right, bro. You got balls and smarts. Do not worry about the price. Just buy. Just buy and hold. And 4 years later, you're going to go, that's what O was talking about. Holy shit. And then you'll thank me. Like the people that have invested with me for the last few years, they're all in the green, like ridiculously in the green. All of us were in the green. But that's because we bought and hold. We didn't hang around and worry about what's it this week or that. I'll give you the prices every day. I'll tell you what it's fluctuating and all that because all of you need to know. But I don't live that way. I told you guys. It's about the macro, not the micro. I say that all the time, One-Eyed Jack. Did this with Oscar Rojas the other day. He was on Twitter. Oh, you worry too much about the price. I'm like, bro, I say every day it's about the macro, not the micro. What are you talking about? Because he doesn't pay attention. So some of you, you're not paying attention. And One-Eyed Jack, you're here all the time, dude. All the time. Either you have the guts and invest and don't even think about it. It'll pay off. But you got to just let it go. Juan Soto will not be re-signing with the Yankees, citing issues with the clubhouse culture and management. They must be Democrats. I'm told he's narrowing his signing down to the Mets, Red Sox, Dodgers, and Astros. They all must be Republicans. I'm having fun. Relax. You lost the election. What do you want me to do? The U.S. told you to go F yourselves. Regardless of where he signs, he will most likely be the highest paid player of all time. Interesting. Okay. Bitcoin, by the way, is up 33% since the Germans sold their Bitcoin at 50,000. So my man that bought it at 55, whatever, he's like 25% up or something. This was just a few weeks ago. That dude is up 25% on a $10,000 investment. So he's got 12,500 in just a couple of weeks. That's an ass kicker right there. That's my kind of guy right there. That's a guy that's got some balls. Let's see, what else do we have here? In my job, the original owner's grandson and great-grandson ran things. Some of the worst people I've ever met. They don't mess with me, but man, do they treat those in the warehouse like shit. Yeah. There is no way Bronny James should have been drafted ahead of Pele Larson. The Lakers bit the bullet, all just to keep the bitch happy. Exactly. That's all. Nobody here is trying to use race or anything when we're talking about Bronny, bro. We're talking about Bronny because he sucks. Because he doesn't belong in the NBA. Period. Has nothing to do with color. Has nothing to do with anything, dude. It has to do with nepotism. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. You know, but some people can't handle the truth. With all the Tyler Hero hate now, Tyler has been the best player on this team. Tyler, what have they played, dude? 8 games? 7 games. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Who gives a shit what Tyler Hero does in 7 games? Okay? Who gives a shit? Talk to me when he's played 60 games and we're towards the end of the season, still some games left, so we could get into the playoffs and that he's still doing it. That's what you got to do. You don't. It's like Mike McDaniel talking about not having penalties 2 weeks ago. It's like, yo, your team constantly is penalized. Shut up. Do it for half a season and then say you habitually have ended that problem. Guess what? They went back to committing mistakes the following week. Anyway, let's brag about Tyler Hero when Tyler Hero deserves to be bragged about. When he actually accomplishes something and stays with it, you know? I have very little at 22K. Most of mine bought in the 50s. I'm definitely buying and holding. Then what are you asking about? And it doesn't sound that sounds fishy, bro. If you bought it 22, what are you worried about the floor? You've learned that it's going to go up. It fought through a pandemic, wars, all kinds of shit. The Democrats trying to kill it for 4 years. Biden, Warren, Yellen, and Gensler did everything and anything to kill Bitcoin. And they couldn't do it because you can't. Don't worry about the floor, bro. You know what you need to see? Oh, U.S. is printing? I'm buying more Bitcoin. Oh, England's printing. I'm buying more Bitcoin. France is printing. I'm buying more Bitcoin. Russia's printing. China, Japan, everybody's printing. I'm buying more Bitcoin. That's what you got to do. And do it before Trump takes over. Because once they start buying the Bitcoin, it is going to go crazy. And it's going to force other countries because they're going to want to do the same thing. They don't want to fall behind. You know, the only country is sitting back going, you idiots, is Bukele and El Salvador. They're the only country sitting back going, what is wrong with you people? Aren't you watching what's going on with us? This is like the greatest turnaround of any economy in the history of the world right now. Which is true, by the way, with El Salvador. One of the greatest turnarounds in an economy in the history of the world. It's pretty impressive. So Horn Dog says, oh, I don't think Bronny is hungry enough for the roster. Well, he's rich. A lot of our kids aren't hungry because a lot of our kids, you know, they didn't have to fight for what they have. They've been given a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Horn Dog? They're not like you and me riding around our bicycles in the 70s, searching for thrown away glass bottles in the alleys and all over the place so we can go return them for 5 and 10 cents so we can go buy some ice cream or a baseball card or something, you know? Hustle. We hustled. I was delivering the Miami news since I was like 14 years old. At 12, I was actually selling them under bridges and intersections. They'd leave me the stack and I'd be there and selling it. It's a gas station. Didn't have a job. All I would do is pump the full service and live off tips. I had a mango tree and avocados in my house. We had 3 mango trees and an avocado tree, and I had like 16 different banana trees that they had the little bananas. You think we can eat all those fruits? No. What do you think I did? Put them in a basket, take them to the different local supermarkets, little Cuban supermarkets, and sell them. Make a little extra money. Kids don't do shit like that, bro. They don't hustle. You know what I'm saying? I've been a hustler since I was a child. And that's what life teaches you. Our kids don't need to hustle. So it's up to you to make them hustlers, to teach them to work hard. You know what I'm saying? To stay hungry and focused. Our kids have such great lives that, you know, it's hard. It's hard. The rest of us, very few of us grew up with a silver spoon, you know? So you did some things to get by. It's kind of the way it's been, you know? How do you think I do this for 5 years? Why do you think that most people can't do what I do? Because they can't hustle. And that's because I've had street in me since I was a kid, because I grew up in the streets. So Horn Dog, it's a different world, man. It's a different world. And that's why it's our kids aren't nearly as resourceful as we are. Not even close. Not even close. Oh, let's see. One-Eyed Jack says, I'm definitely on board and paying attention. My question had to do more with the election and the numbers. Maybe I didn't word it correctly. I'm buying and holding forever. Yeah, dude, this is going to explode now. I think we're going to be in a stage of 93 to 124 very soon. And we're going to settle in there for a little bit. And then we'll have a dip at that point somewhere. And then you can take advantage of it also. You know, but I think we should get one move to close to the 100 and then a little dip. And then, we'll consolidate a little bit like we did, maybe not for 6 months like we just did, but we'll consolidate a little bit and then shoot up into the 120s. I think that's what's going to end up happening. And then it'll be stages along the way. And we'll have to measure the speed it's going to go at depending on how much the buying picks up. Because I can't even say if. Now when Trump is put into office, remember, he has control of the House and the Senate. They're going to be able to pass every crypto-friendly bill that they want. And thank God for that. They're going to pass other shit that may not be beneficial, but that's, hey, look, the people spoke, dude. Like, it is what it is. So, may not be a lot of good stuff that's coming down the line, but the one that you can take advantage of is definitely Bitcoin. Let's see. Shang Tu Shang, I like your hat. When I was a kid, I would sell coconuts in front of my house. We had coconut trees in our house. Exactly. Hustle, man. Gotta hustle. And what's it called? Oh God, now I'm brain farting. A listener gave me this. He hasn't been on as much lately, actually. And maybe that's why I'm brain farting right now. GP Trap Hewitt gave me this hat. So it's a very nice hat. It's actually, this might be the most comfortable hat I've ever owned in my life. Yeah, top 2 or 3. It's super comfortable. I don't know why, I can't explain it, but it is super comfortable, man. Super comfortable. So GP Trap, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I wear it a lot. Big O, happy Friday. Thank you, Willie. Enjoying Colombia. Ray says, great memory. Oh, I remember those days. Fun times. Looking forward to buy the comic books. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. These kids nowadays are soft. Yes, they are, Sam the man. Yes, they are. Big O, I concur with your opinion about younger people not being resourceful. I preach that to my students. Yeah, dude. Yeah. They all bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. Bring it to me. And not to get too political about it, but the people that just got booted out of office, they were giving away too much. You know, you're just giving. You see what they did in New York? They're going to stop the voucher program for migrants. Why? Because the guy that's taking office saying, bro, we're going to keep giving you money. You're giving it to other people. And, no, bro. Like the migrant, like my parents that came, like your parents, they weren't giving them a whole bunch. They had to hit the streets and work, bro, and make a living. It wasn't government handouts. My dad wasn't getting government handouts in the late 50s and the early 60s. Nah, mother effer, get your ass to work, go to the army, do the shit you're supposed to do to contribute to this damn country. And that's how you get paid. You put in and then you get out. Not you come here and we just give you shit. And that's, and that's all part of the MO of everything that goes on. We give people, just give them shit for nothing, bro. It's like, you didn't earn it. You didn't produce it. And this happens with our kids. We gift them stuff. And they didn't produce shit, dude. And then when they get older, they think that this is like the norm. And that's what's going on. We give away too much, dude. We give away too much. There's not enough hard work going on in this world. So that's all. It just goes into everything in life. I'm starting to think Greer, Allen, and McKenzie never hired McDummy. It was Garfinkel, Ross move. I'm not sure. Well, I've been talking about that. I already explained it. And again, I don't have proof on this. I could be completely wrong. Okay? But Greer came from Parcells. And his dad was also in the Parcells tree. That's a hard-ass tree. His brother is a hockey player, also a hockey executive. Tough-ass dude. Okay, so then he comes to work for Jimmy Johnson. Rough-ass dude. The first time he finally gets a job, he hires a Belichick disciple, a hard-ass dude. And then all of a sudden, they go polar opposite. That just smells of Ross because of the programs he have in place and everything else that he's done and all that. It kind of smells of him because the MO of Greer, McKenzie, when he was a GM, he hired Jack Del Rio, bro. Jack Del Rio fired like 29 coaches in Jacksonville. Hard ass, who played for Jimmy in Dallas. It just doesn't jive. I've been saying this now for a little bit. It just doesn't jive. And then if you don't make any changes in the offseason, it was definitely not them that hired him. Maybe they went along with it and they agreed. It was their suggestion. And, hey, it's the owner's suggestion. What are you going to do? Tell the owner no? You can't do that kind of stuff. It doesn't sit well with the owner. Trust me. I know. Ask Sean. I've done it to owners right in front of him. I've told owners, you don't know what you're doing. It's not a good thing. It might be true what you're doing, but the owner doesn't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Shang Tu Sheng. I've already talked about that, and I put it through my nosy. and it don't smell so rosy. Just doesn't seem like a Greer move. Doesn't seem like a McKenzie move. Allen has never been a GM and hired his own person, so I can't go off of his history. I can go off of that history, you know. Kind of like we went back, like going back to that guy that got all bent out of shape with the Brawny comment, and I went through history of nepotism, white nepotism, since he thinks it doesn't exist. It exists there more than anywhere else, actually. Minorities are rarely in the power to put nepotism in place. But, that poor guy is not smart enough to figure that out either. Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah. If there's no changes in the offseason, that's going to kind of tell me that. Okay? Scouts right now are super nervous. Assistant coaches are super nervous. Front office has to be nervous. Why? Mike McDaniel is going to get a bunch of people fired on all those levels. Trainers will be safe, and usually media relations 95% of the time are safe. Rarely do they make those kind of changes, but slim chance too for that. You never know. You never know. But the other stuff that I told you, oh, dude, scouts are shitting bricks right now. Assistant coaches are shitting bricks right now. And front office cannot feel good. You know what I'm saying? But if there's no changes, it could be about money. It could be that you're all dedicated to all this, but it also could be that those three guys did not hire McDaniel. They just went along with the suggestion of the guy that owns the team. Because he definitely comes off in that sense there. He doesn't come off like a Greer selection. Just doesn't. It's not his history. It's not who he's known for. So, we shall see. Time will answer all, right? That's the beauty of it. Time will answer all. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation also on the program. Ocala Joe on Cash App. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Says a happy Bitcoin Friday. And that it is, my friend. A happy Bitcoin Friday. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir. Cash App or Venmo. And you can also make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. The amazing Ray Martinez just made a Ethereum donation. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you immensely. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make an Ethereum donation or Bitcoin donation. And he's smart on the Ethereum one because the Ethereum is still Ethereum, I think, is going to go to 10,000. I think it's between 7 and 10. And right now it's farting around just under 3,000. So think about it. It's about to add 70% of what it has right now. Okay? So thank you, Ray, because that's the smart move is to move to, those of you that have stacked, Bitcoin, then Ethereum is the one that you should take advantage of if you can. Bitcoin, for those of you that haven't bought any or don't have enough, don't stop buying. Do not stop buying. Do not. In fact, do what I did. Open up an account on Swan and put an automatic buy every week or every month. And that way you don't even have to worry about it. Just let it go. Let it go, let it go, and just let it. You don't even worry about it, and it's just going to grow, and you're going to go, wow, this is amazing. I should have done this earlier. So thank you, Ray. Appreciate you big time on the Ethereum donation. Very kind of you. It's funny because it's already your Ethereum donation that you made is already up. So you made it, you did it, you got it on a little bit of a dip, and it already has gone up. That's pretty amazing. So thank you, Ocala Joe. Thank you, Ray. And remember, you can also make a donation on PayPal anywhere in the world. So use that QR code that Sean will put up. True Fin Fan says, farting around. Did you call me? Brett says, learning the value of money early in life rewards those throughout their lives. Yeah. Yeah, dude, you learn to hustle. That's all. You learn to hustle. And that's how you get to do more things in life, too. If you're hustling more than somebody else, you have more money and you'll be able to do other things. So I agree with you, Brett. Ross needs to hire a football guy and stay out of the way. But that's kind of what they have. They have 3 football guys. And the talent's pretty good. If there was 3 more wins, nobody. It really should be 4 with the Bills win. But if there were the 3 wins alone on this roster, on this record, nobody would even talk about the front office guys. The problem is your head coach has screwed everything up. That's all it is. It's really nothing else. It's really that your head coach has screwed everything up. And if it wasn't for your head coach, you and I know we'd be talking about the Dolphins battling the Bills for the division. You know? What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? I can tell you that Bitcoin is now pumping at 76,648. So we could be hitting 77,000 in this conversation right now. Not bad. Not bad. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. Yes, I like it. I like it. I like it. What was her name? What was her name? What was her name? It's a black and white cover of the album. I remember that. She was a one-hit wonder. But I can't remember the name. Why do I want to say Phyllis? I think there's a Phyllis in there. I like it a lot. Damn. I'm trying to remember it. Let me see. I like it song. I'm going to put 80s because there's probably a bunch of them called I Like It. See, DeBarge has one. Listen. Oh, man. I'm trying to remember it. I can't remember it now. Maybe one of you will pick up on it. Trying to remember. I can remember the 12-inch copy of it because it's a black and white album. It's kind of grayish, and I'm trying to remember the images on it and the woman that used to sing it. Swan Auto Buy is awesome. I have a small weekly auto buy on there since August. There you go. What are you worried about, One-Eyed Jack? Don't worry about anything. Just keep buying, bro. Just keep buying. Greer should demand McDummy getting fired and go Vrabel this offseason. Then he will prove Ross was behind that hiring. Yep, I just told you. You can't show up the owner, bro. It just doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't fly, bro. It doesn't fly. Willie says, bubblegum 80s music. Yeah, probably. Yeah. But I did like the song. I got to say, I did like the song. I'm trying to remember because it's one of those one-hit wonders type of thing. And I don't know why the name Phyllis is sticking to my head when I'm thinking of that song, I Like It. So I don't know what to tell you. All right, let's get to some music news and notes. All right, let's start off with musicians born on this date, which is November 8th. SZA, American singer-songwriter. Solana Imani Roan, known professionally as SZA, born on this date in 1989. She had the #1 single in Kill Bill. Jack Osbourne, son of Ozzy, born in 1985 on this date. Let's see who else. Alan Few from the Glass Tiger. Don't forget me when I'm gone. Was born on this date in 1959. Paul Thompson from The Cure was born on this date in 1957. Ricky Lee Jones, Chucky's in Love, born on this date in 1954. Alan Berger with Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, born on this date in 1949. Bonnie Raitt, born on this date in 1949. Who else? That's it. At least worth mentioning. Gerald Alston from the Manhattans. Yeah, let's just kiss and say goodbye. Gerald Alston was born in 1942 on this date. And there we go. Those are musicians born on this date. Let's go with others, other famous folk celebrating birthdays today. Benjamin Wadsworth, TV actor, is 25. Who else? Gordon Ramsay, chef, 58. David Muir, ABC World News Tonight host, is 51, the man with the magic pipes. He's got those magic pipes. Who else? Who else is celebrating birthdays today? Giancarlo Stanton is 35 years old. Minnie Riperton, soul singer, born in 47 on this day. We lost her in 79. Who else? Parker Posey, movie actress. She is 56. And that is it. That is famous folk that have celebrated a birthday today. Let's go to music history. Why don't we? Today on November 8th, in 1975, David Bowie made his American television debut when he performed Fame on Cher's TV show in 75. In 87, to generate footage for their documentary Rattle and Hum, U2 played a free Save the Yuppie concert in San Francisco. An arrest warrant was issued for Bono after he spray painted "Rock and Roll Stops Traffic" on a fountain sculpture at the event. In 2008, AC/DC started a 2-week run at the top of the albums charts with Black Ice. That's actually a pretty decent album. It's their 15th album. In 71, Led Zeppelin released their 4th album, Led Zeppelin 4. In 86, Metallica performed their first live concert with bassist Jason Newsted. In 80, Bruce Springsteen started a 4-week run at #1 on the album charts with The River, his first U.S. album, going to #1. In 2001, Limp Bizkit and Gorillaz were the big winners at the MTV Europe Music Awards. Limp won for Best Group and Best Album, while Gorillaz scored trophies for Best Dance Group and Best Song for Clint Eastwood. And that's what happened today in Musica history. Sean, I did not ask you about the wrestlers. Any wrestlers celebrating birthdays today, sir?
Yes, we have quite the list. Arashi turned 63. Golden Boys, 37. Kazuchika Okada, he turns 37. Keith Lee turns 40. Lucky Cannon turns 41. Ted DiBiase Jr. turns 42. And Julia Hart, she hits the number 23 today on November 8th, 2024.
All right. And Bitcoin is at 76,751, 797, which I believe right now, that's an all-time high, 850, 76,850. I'm feeling it. This looks like a 77,000 push, 855. 855. Do we go? We go 856. We got 856. We're 14 cents. Do we got more? Oh, we're going down to 839.55. 839.55. Oh, we're going up to 848. 848. Do I see 77,000? Where is 77,000? We are at 76,845. 897. Do we get 77,000? 77,000. We want to hear 77,000. We're at 76,891. 76,891. Do we have 77,000? Anyone out there with 77,000? We're looking for 77,000. We got 76,916. We got 76,916, 16. Question is, can we get to 77,000? Pushing it, baby. Pushing it. Push in the bush. Oh, I like to get down. 77,000. We need it. What else do we have? What happened to Puff Daddy? Why was he arrested? What happened to this guy? I don't know. Do your homework. Have you not read? Have you not seen the news? I mean, Puff was doing a lot of bad stuff. That's what ended up happening. Damn. We're almost there, dude. We're almost at 77. It is amazing. I can't wait to show you when we hit 80 the Cash App account, because as I've always told you, you don't have a savings account, you have a what? A Bitcoin account. And it is $11.96. Although there might be a couple dollars sent in because I have my the other thing, by the way, One Eye Jack, since you're watching, is it One Eye Jack that was talking about it? Yes, One Eye Jack, since you're talking about it. The other thing I do is I have my Cash App credit card, and you can also put it through your Apple Pay too. And I buy things with that now. And I sometimes I do it with my American Express to get miles, or with my Apple card to get 2%, right? But I'm buying stuff now with Cash App, and it rounds out. Like, I went and bought 2 donuts yesterday, right? And the 2 donuts cost me $4.20. So I paid it with my Cash App card. 80 cents, it rounds out in Bitcoin. So I'm buying everything like that, and all the change gets rounded out in Bitcoin. That's another little way that you guys can just quietly add. So my Cash App number does go up a little bit because of that. So the investment part, I'll add it once I get to 80,000. I'll add it because it's probably a little bit more now. But yeah, because that change will grow more than the 2% from Apple. From what your one purchase, because then you get that money, but then that money just shrinks because your money shrinks every day. Every day you buy less and less with your money. You don't want your money sitting there. You want your money working. So you put it into a commodity. You know what I'm saying? We're at 951. I need 77,000 here, bro. 965. Sean, go to coinmarketcap.com. And then hit Bitcoin and pull it up. Let's cross 77,000 together. Went to 950, went down to 901. So it's like now it's 941.99. So we're about to do it. I want to hit 77,000 with you guys live right here. Because it's going to do it. It's screwing around the 900 range right now. So at any moment now, it's going to pop and it's going to hit 77,000, 939. Loving this, dude. This is amazing. Here we go. Here we go. Sean, hit the 7-day hit the 7-day graph to see the way it's climbed in the last week. Look at that right there. That is awesome, dude. That is awesome right there. Patience pays, man. Patience pays. You just hang in there and you think, oh, it's not gonna move, and before you know it, it busts out and it starts running, and you didn't pay attention or you didn't believe, and you're not on the bandwagon, unfortunately. But 77,000 would be nice. You think you can bring Tua on the show one day, bro? I don't know. Maybe one day. I don't know. We'll see. It would have to be away from the Dolphins. It would have to be through his agent or something like that. Because the Dolphins they're not very cooperative. Those are the facts. I've been told about getting players and then they don't come through. You know what I'm saying? And so it's a lot of empty promises made, unfortunately. But, that's how it goes. So I can't expect them to help me out, unfortunately. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Tua, this is the one show, outside of, and I'll tell them straight up, you can't do that kind of shit running the ball. That's crazy shit. You can't do that. You can't get hurt, bro. That's just ridiculous. But outside of that, yeah, this would be the show to come on, right? Because I am a believer in his ability. I just need them to do right around him, because we didn't do right around Marino, and that's why Marino didn't end up winning, and he did his best, but 77! Woo! Now we're 78. All right, we hit 77. Let's go. We need 78 now. 77,000. Told you. You could feel it. It was brewing, bro. You saw a new all-time high right there live. Well, it was already at the 940 range. That was already an all-time high as it is. Once it was hitting the 900s, that was all-time high. So first time ever Bitcoin has hit $77,000. Remember, we were at the Manny Navarro interview, we were at 76,000. And it stayed there throughout his whole interview. It went to like 75, 9 something, and then it went back up to 70, barely right over 76. And now it's gone up 1,000 up since Manny. No asset does that, dude. There's no asset in the world that does that. None. And no asset recovers like this one does. It's truly amazing. By the way, did Ethereum hit 3,000? No, it has not. It's at 2,965. So it is on the brink of doing that. Boy, Polygon is up 14%. Nice to see Polygon up. And it's very important to see Polygon up. As a Matic guy myself, I love it. Okay. I like it. I bought this stock hut. It was $2.58. Now I'm happy. This is a good investment. It is a Bitcoin producer. Oh, it's a mining hut. It's a mining company. Is that what it is? All right. Good shit. All right, folks. I appreciate you all out there. thank you for hanging in there. Thank you for supporting the hell out of the program. Remember, you can always make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. Rise Taylor, sir. Thank you. I just saw it here on Venmo. Even at 2-6, Monday night is always an excitement. McDaniel and Tua's best ever game against the Bills. Let's get back to 500 and we'll see. Let's go Heat tonight. Have a good weekend. You know, Rise, for me, personally, I get it, man. Perfect thing is to tank and, you know, all that. I get it. But that's not going to happen. Okay, so it's not going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and wish on bad shit. And I really liked the way the offense played last week. It was my favorite game that he has called. And you guys know that I'm not a big McDaniel fan. I'm going to be rooting for him to win. I get it. Do they have a shot at the playoffs? Yeah, I know it's super slim. Do I think they're going to make it? I think no. I'm not even thinking playoffs or whatever. But I am not the fan that's going to sit here and wish bad shit on the Heat or the Dolphins or the Marlins or the Panthers or the Canes or Inter Miami. That's just not my style. So I'm with you, Rise. I am going to sit. I'm excited about Monday night. Believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm excited for the game on Monday night. Because you're playing football the way you were supposed to play for Tua from the get-go. You were supposed to build a line and run the damn ball and use your tight end. That way, it makes the passing game that much easier for him. But you made him Marino-esque, where the run's not a threat. You don't use the tight end nearly as much. At least Marino used the tight end. But you make it so obvious to the defense. Now, all of a sudden, you're lining up, you're punching people in the mouth, you're running the ball, you're running downhill, you're using the tight end. I can only see the receivers getting better and better and better in a system like this. So at least I'm excited that if clearly the offensive line is better than most people thought it was. Maybe Chris Greer was right on that one because now you're playing to their strengths instead of playing and exposing their weaknesses by making them a pass blocking team the entire time, which, man, you've got to be a special five to do that all the time. That's really, really tough. So I'm excited about that because if you fix the offense, then that's kind of half the battle. And if they're going to keep everybody together, I would like for them to develop an identity. And last week, that was an identity. And if it's ever going to get better, this is how it gets better. Okay? One way or the other. If they're going to keep the guy around, let's hope for the best, right? They're so cap-strapped, you don't really want the worst to happen. You want it to get better. You want them to win. Like I told you, they're not going to make much changes. As much as I would rather bring in Vrabel, they're not going to do that. They're just not. Appreciate all of you out there as always. Thank you for hitting the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you know when we go live, especially on these road trips. That sometimes the schedule isn't, the most consistent thing for me. So appreciate all of you out there. We will see you Saturday, tomorrow, 2:00. We'll be at the Smudge Pot out there hanging out with Jalen Phillips, the Smudge Pot Brewing Company. So if you're in California, this is our only live appearance tomorrow, 2 to 5 p.m. We'll see you there. We thank Sean Stanley. We thank David Furones. We thank Manny Navarro. Appreciate all of you out there, man. Love you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you tomorrow at 2:00. Be good.
This is the Big O Show.